Hello, amazing souls. Do you ever find yourself doubting that gut feeling and second guessing your every choice? Or maybe feeling disconnected from your spirit guides? If you're nodding along, you've landed in the right place. Welcome to the Soul Vibe Insights Podcast. I'm Maddie Hollingsworth.
And I'm Emily Pearl. We're all about demystifying soul energy, emotional awareness, developing your intuition, and the Akashic Records. We're here to make these powerful tools accessible on your journey of self discovery.
So pull up a chair, relax your vibe, and let's jump right into today's show. Hello, amazing souls, and welcome to the episode of today. Part one about starseeds and star traveler souls and just what are they like. Emily and I have enjoyed a little bit of a spring break these last month, if you will. We finished up our time in the mountains in Pagosa Springs and have been exploring the Denver area and spent a little time back in Fort Collins with one of our favorite little puppies, little sweet baby Aspen. You might have seen her on some of our social media before.
Hello and welcome. We also celebrated our 11-year anniversary.
Yes, we did.
We had a really fun day that day.
Yeah, we did the Museum of Illusions in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And where'd we go to dinner? What was the name of that place? It was tasty.
It's like Barcelona, I think.
Yeah, that tapas place. That's right. Drank some bubbles and had a bunch of tapas.
Yeah, it was super fun. And then we got to try another yummy restaurant that we really wanted to try, like a upscale Mexican place. So that was really fun. The following weekend,
Yeah.
hung out with some good friends, and I got to go to Red Rocks. Red Rocks.
Oh, that's right. You totally popped your Red Rocks cherry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my friends took me with her, so Maddie didn't get to go, but he's already been to Red Rocks quite a few times, so I got to go to my first. Technically, I did go my first time with you because we went to the park, but not to see a concert.
Yeah, we got to see people running stairs and hanging out and cleaning the Red Rocks amphitheater and walked
Yeah.
around the park. But that counts. That's right. Your first time was with me.
So technically, my first time was with you, but my first concert.
That's what really counts.
Yeah, it was so fun. What a cool experience. So that was a bucket list item.
Yeah. So we have just been enjoying ourselves and just taking a little break from things. And we are really excited to be back with you and diving into topics we love and sharing our knowledge and experience again.
Yeah. And we got to be on Positive Talk Radio, which was very cool.
Yeah, that was super cool.
So we've took an unexpected break. We weren't exactly planning to take a break from podcasting, but it turned out that it was much needed, and then we ended up having all these adventures in between. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something else?
If anyone's interested in the episode where Emily and I joined Kevin McDonald on Positive Talk Radio, there's a link in our Instagram profile and on our Facebook page to the YouTube recording. I think it airs on Brushwood Media
Tomorrow.
Yeah, June 11th.
Well, same day
Same
this
day this
release.
show will be out. Yeah.
So today, actually, to you all listening, because it is June 11th.
Right on. That was exciting. Thanks for remembering that. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about Starseed or Star Traveler souls and what are they like. So Starseed souls make up roughly 25% of souls incarnated on planet Earth right now. And I say roughly because, tens of millions of people are coming and going every day on Earth. So this is just kind of a ballpark figure that keeps coming up for us when we do our Akashic record research. A starseed soul essentially differs from an Earth soul, which was our last show. We dove really in deep into what makes an Earth soul an Earth soul. And the opposite for a starseed soul is their formative incarnations were somewhere else in the universe and not on Earth like Earth souls.
So let's back up to basically the birth of a soul, which is essentially a soul decides it's going to be conscious of itself. And so when it's in the spirit world, it goes to this place where, it's called like the incubation. It's like an incubation period where there's incubator souls that come and take care. So these are like motherly souls that take care of these little baby souls.
This way, the first experience they have from a God, Goddess, the universe, loving creator, source, spirit, energy is unconditional love. So this is their very first experience when they differentiate and decide to be conscious of themselves as a unique soul energy, is this unconditional love, this incubation period. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, so you can kind of think of it as being a baby, in an incubator, or, just being a baby, not really knowing like what you want yet in the world, and you're being taught everything. And so once you kind of reach a certain soul age, I don't know exactly what age that would be, but you decide, all right, I'm going to start incarnating on somewhere. I'm going to start incarnating somewhere, because that's where you actually get your, you start getting your life lessons. You really start to come into your own through these experiences. And so some souls choose to go straight to Earth. In my opinion, those are some very brave souls to go, straight into the lion's den, if you will.
Very brave indeed.
And then other souls will choose to have incarnations elsewhere. And so the reason for this, there's a multitude of reasons why a soul would choose to incarnate on Earth or incarnate elsewhere. But so basically, starseed souls, they choose to go to a different planet other than Earth. So, if you look up into the sky, you'll see tons of stars, and a lot of those stars have planets. Planets don't glow like stars do, so they're a little bit harder to observe. And actually, planets haven't even been observed. A lot of scientists thought that there were only the planets in our star system for the longest time. And then what was it, like 2012? It was like, oh, wait a minute. Most of the stars in the sky have planets around them. So it was like between, I think it was 2016.
It was in the 2000s for sure. And the interesting thing of this is we see the stars' light energy here. And the way that they have observed and know that there are planets is as the planets are orbiting, they kind of disrupt that light just a little bit. And therefore, a body has to be in the gravitational field of that star to, on a rhythmic pattern, disrupt that light a little bit. That's how they've proven that there's planets or bodies orbiting in the gravitational pull of other stars, therefore planets.
Yeah. So it's just pretty crazy, because like for the longest time, there were only, how many? 7?
What, 9
8?
planets?
Oh, 9 planets.
And then Pluto wasn't a planet.
And then they decided Pluto wasn't a planet anymore. But so essentially, now all of these other planets have been discovered. So this information from the Akashic Records was channeled way before they even discovered that there were all these other planets in the star system.
The lineage of this information,
incredible. Yeah,
for us began in the 80s. Or not for us, but that we were taught by our mentor and her mentors. It started in the 80s.
Yeah.
With Arlen Bach and his wife.
Yeah.
Way before that, our scientists here on Earth have, unequivocally decided there are other planets in the known universe.
Yeah, and so just to clarify, the information that we're talking about the star traveler and the starseed souls, like Maddie said, the information started to be compiled in the 1980s, and there were actually quite a few people that were kind of doing this work. There was Dolores Cannon, there was Michael Newton, there was who our mentor talks about, being the legacy mentor of this information, Arlen Bach. And I'm sure there were a lot of other people. I can't think of some other names right now, but there were a lot of people that were kind of coming into this information at once. Really, the ancient astronaut theorist, he wrote his book in 1982, didn't he? No, he wrote his in the 70s.
It was in the 60s. Eric von Däniken, the Chariots of the Gods. I think
that
was
in the
like
60s?
I think it was like 67 or something.
Yeah, so
he kind of began that whole we've been visited, and that what we consider the gods on the earth are actually alien visitors from different times throughout our human history that have been recorded, but we didn't know what he just infers that the Egyptians or the Mayans or whomever just didn't know what to say other than the gods descended from the sky.
Right. So it's just such interesting information that we're kind of passing along here today, but you can see how there are so many different connections with so many different modalities and ways of thinking. So, if there's any takeaway from this podcast episode is there are, an infinite ways of looking at the idea of being starseeds or even souls in general.
And this is just a compilation of our experience, the knowledge we have, what we've been handed down from our mentor, what we found to be true when we're researching for other souls, and what we pass along to them with our soul journey Akashic readings. And, this doesn't have to be the way or the truth for you. Find your own. But, if anything in here sparks your curiosity or feels right to you, it just might be the truth for you as we know it too.
Unsurprisingly, we digress a bit, but so let's get back into it.
So as Emily was saying, a starseed soul group of origin, when they decide to start incarnating, that their home planet is associated with a different star system than our galaxy here and the planet Earth. We personally know of 32 different starseed soul groups from our soul journey Akashic readings. And we talk more about star systems. We may mention a home planet, but we're going to talk more about star systems because a lot of the star seeds or star travelers, they have come to be multi-planet beings. Just like us humans are fascinating about putting bases and humans living on the moon and eventually Mars and maybe other planets. So we're not just confined to Earth or the human race, that we can be multi-planetary beings as well.
And so why is this information even important? Like why is it even important for someone to know that they're a starseed or to find this information out, like say from one of our soul journey reports? And the biggest reason is because if you are a starseed soul, you come from a specific soul group, and each of those soul groups have their own unique characteristics, their own genetic templates, their unique missions, and that they fulfill like on this home star system as well as in the universe. And these different soul groups of origination is what we call them in our Akashic record readings. Depending on which group you're with, may have to work off, if you will, and I'm putting work in quotes, this karma that you accumulate from this specific soul group as well. And so some of the soul groups do have more karma than others that we have found, basically because, depending on the main missions of those specific soul groups, then some of the information that they may be passing along could have caused a little bit more trouble within the universe than others.
They might have overshared information with another culture of souls or energy on a home planet that wasn't ready for it, and negative consequences happened. Home planets were destroyed, wars were raged on, and so there's karma involved. That's just one scenario that I can think of with the Maldekians.
Well,
the Syrians oversharing information and technology with a group that wasn't ready for it.
Well, so think about it this way. So a lot of these soul groups of origination, they've been around a lot longer than planet Earth. So they've had a lot more time to learn about the ins and outs of the universe. And so a lot of them were way more advanced in their knowledge, in their technology, in pretty much every possible way than Earth was, especially when it was kind of new to the incarnation cycle. And so some of these star systems, they got really excited about all this knowledge they knew, and so they started sharing it with Earth. But like Maddie said, Earth wasn't ready for it. As far as the age and the planet, it's like oversharing with a baby way too much technological stuff that the baby isn't ready for, or the child isn't ready for. And so they misinterpreted the information. They used the information not in the way it was meant to be used. And I mean, come on, we're all here on Earth. We know that there's a lot of turmoil, and we know that a lot of people, there's just been some really awful things that have happened.
I mean, just think of advanced information that could be used here in this duality in our plane of existence with the extreme polarities that we have, that this beautiful information that could give Earth free energy and heal pollution in the planet and bring us all together could also be used for destruction. That, us as a human race may or may not be ready for something like that. And it has happened throughout the universe at other times with other planets and beings, this kind of sharing out of probably what came from a positive place. Well, if they just knew this, then they could do this beautiful stuff with it, but they weren't ready to do the beautiful stuff only.
No, they're like, wait a minute, this could help me get control, or I can, have control over other people, or I can destroy my enemies with this information rather than helping everyone on the planet. So, I mean, we are definitely still...
We've said it before, life is messy.
Yeah.
Here, it's all the things. It's beautiful, but it's also a disaster at times here on Earth. And this conversation, I mean, this line of thinking has helped me, because I was one in my younger years. It was like, well, if ETs are around, why don't they just come in and teach us what we need to know and put things straight for us? Well, we don't have free will if someone else comes in and dominates and puts things straight. And I also now understand that if they come in and teach us all these things, we may not use them for the best possible outcome, the highest good of all. We as a human species, some of us are definitely ready, but maybe not all of us. Like you were saying, free energy for all. Wait a minute. They can just get energy for me and I'll be all powerful. I'll destroy my enemies. It could go any way.
Yeah. So unfortunately, us as humans have not learned how to create universal peace. And there's still that aspect of control, and there's still that aspect of wanting to dominate over others, and there's still that aspect of, the very upsetting aspect of war. And
these are individual choices. Whatever side of the fence you fall on or sit on here, I mean, you have the power of choice to choose what's right for you, what's good for all, or something else. I choose that, to believe in positive expectations and a hope for us all coming together, hopefully sooner than later, and joining the forces for good and for love and for sharing and for friendship as a planetary human species.
Yes, world peace would be lovely.
And we've mentioned before that starseeds come here because of the way Earth is, because it's messy, because there's positive and negativity and all of this duality and extreme polarities and everything in between. They come here for the unique learning opportunities of life on Earth. Earth is a universal school, after all.
Well, I mean, everyone comes here for all of that.
Yes, that's very true. But
all souls come here for all of that.
That is why Earth is not just Earth souls, that there are starseeds coming as well, because Earth is so unique in the universe that this kind of potential for learning in the extremes is here.
Well, and I also think a lot of starseed souls come here because they want to try to understand what it is like to be on Earth, so that they can, with their soul groups of origination, formulate plans to try to help and to try to help maintain and create more balance here on Earth. And more love and peace and all of those ooey gooey feelings that we all would like to experience at all times, but that's not how Earth is designed. So in order to fully understand what the issues are, so to speak, you kind of have to understand those more dense energies as well, and those dense emotions. Otherwise, you're just like, I don't understand. Why can't everyone love each other? I don't understand. It's just, group hugs, pillow fights, all of that. But that's not the way Earth is. There's the plethora of emotional baggage that plagues us all.
Which I'm going to add one thing, but that's a great segue to where we're headed with our next section here. But I did want to add that recently been discovering that although there are roughly about 25% of the souls are starseeds or star traveler souls on Earth, the last handful of years, starseeds are coming in higher quantities. Around 40% of the humans being born, the souls that occupy them are starseed souls. So there is a surge of starseeds coming. To lend more to kind of what Emily was hinting at, is starseeds have this draw to affect Earth, to maybe bring about positive change or their life missions and stuff. So the next thing we really want to jump into is, that starseed souls tend to have an inherent knowledge that they have some kind of mission or purpose while they're here on Earth. It could be like an unconscious thing, but there could be this longing for more purpose in this starseed soul's life, to feel purpose, whatever that means to them. Purpose is a subjective thing, if you will. There could be that underlying drive to succeed at one's life mission.
Yeah, and I don't feel like everyone has that drive.
Oh, I agree. It's not there for everyone, but I'm just saying inherently underneath, like for me personally,
But I'm just saying
always
in
had
contrast.
this, I need to fulfill something. I got something to do, but I had no clue what that was. But I've always kind of had this feeling like I'm supposed to be doing or accomplishing something. One of these things we're saying isn't going to fit for every single starseed soul. That's for sure. There's way too much uniqueness while we're here on Earth for that. But I do think that discovering or remembering their mission will be in their thoughts if they have this kind of drive, this underlying pull, to fulfill a life mission. Some starseeds might even be, like hyper focused on it, where, like Emily just mentioned, it might not even be in the ballpark of a draw to do for others.
Yeah, I feel like we all know, certain people that it's like they came into this world and they knew what they were meant to do, and there was like nothing that could deter them from that mission. And so chances are they are on what we call a contribution lifetime, which literally means they came here to contribute to the greater good of Earth and of the whole. And so if you're on a contribution lifetime, you can be an Earth soul or you can be a starseed soul. But when starseed souls come here on a contribution lifetime, it's probably more either spiritually based contribution or something definitely more towards the greater good of all. Whereas Earthseed souls may be kind of more focused on something, not that they're not focused on the greater good of all, but it's probably more like a way to better Earth and not necessarily a way to better everyone on the planet Earth and like bring them towards like a higher perspective or a higher just way of being.
Yeah, I mean, bettering the Earth betters for all of us, but the focus would be more about Earth and Mother Gaia and those qualities as opposed to the souls inhabiting Earth right now. I do totally agree that distinction kind of happens between the starseeds and the Earth soul, their focus.
Yeah, there just may be more of like a spiritual quality to their mission.
And people on a contribution lifetime, you know them. They're obsessed. They can't shut up about it. It might even be their profession as well as, everything in their life. They just can't turn it off. They just can't help themselves. It is a obsession. It is a hyper focus for them to crush this soul mission and this life purpose to, achieve and succeed and then some.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've always been a tad bit envious of those people that have just kind of known what they were here to do and knew their mission from an early age and just kept with it. But at the same time, I'm like, wait, there's just so much stuff to learn and so many ways to go. Why would I just pick one?
Yeah, right. No, I'm totally with you on that from my personal side. I like the jack of all trades as opposed to the master of one, for sure.
Even though, there is that slight envy towards those masters of one because You know, there really is something to be said about those people that just know deep down like what their mission is and what they're here to do. And, you know, it's pretty incredible, I feel like. But those are our contribution lifetime people. So they literally came here incarnated like, yup. They came out of the womb knowing that they were here to achieve something.
So many home planets or like the star systems that starseeds or star travelers originate in will focus or specialize in a vibration or a quality that they refine and share with the universe, but they're refining it in their home star system for the universe to bring those energies around, you know, to harmonically resonate them around. And they do that when they're here on Earth. And a few examples would be energetic healing after death to slough off the energetic residues from traumas and heavier emotions like the alpha Kalians do. I always forget the
I think it's Kalian.
Alpha Kalians will do. So alpha Kalians will train to help souls when they die on Earth. So when you first come out, they're the ones there helping with the energetic healing. So they do this to help souls as they leave Earth. That is like the specialty that they work on in their home star system. And then you have Alpha Centaurians, they're like the guardians and protectors for Earth. But you'll find that Alpha Centaurians are very much the guardians and protectors of their family, their friend groups, you know, whatever it is that they do, they exude that energy while here. But they're also protecting the Earth as well from Alpha Centauri is our nearest star system to us.
So just to back up 1 second, it's pronounced Kaylee. Alpha Kaylee.
Kaylee, thank you. That one's always given me a little bit of trouble.
We'll think about May, M-A-E, and then K. Lee.
Kaylee, okay, there it is.
Dun, ta-da! I should know that one because that is one of my soul groups.
That's your secondary affiliation, right?
Yeah.
You have Pleiadians who they enhance the communication. They bring souls together. They're the movers and shakers in society while they're here on Earth. They're actually one of the original starseed groups that came to Earth many, many millennia ago, in one of the first ages of Earth that started to set it up. That's why they are the movers and shakers. That's why they come here and advance communications throughout. This is something that they do in the Pleiades. It's one of their specialties for the universe. So they come here and bring it to the Earth as well.
Yeah, so if you know someone that is like, I just have to get this message out. You know, I just have to share this. This is important to me that I have to get this out. Chances are they are Pleiadian. And in fact, we have found a huge percentage of our clients have been Pleiadians. And that is because not only are they wanting to express this communication, they're wanting to know about themselves as well. And because the Pleiades are one of the, I would say, older star groups of origination, then this idea of being from another planet is a lot more common to them. They've had so many more lifetimes, so this idea isn't that far-fetched. And so they are wanting to seek out that knowledge and bring people together with it. Let's see, and so a couple other examples of other soul groups that we look into are the speaking souls. And these souls, they bring the vibrations of enlightenment to Earth. And so while they're on their home planet, they live in an enlightened state. And so they're essentially here trying to explore planet Earth from that perspective on how can they teach others how to become more enlightened, so to speak. And also bringing that information back to Spica as well, to try to show speaking souls how that can be achieved on planet Earth. Just so you know, these souls are not the enlightened ones. These aren't your monks and your priests and your nuns and the spiritual people. I mean, they can be, but they usually aren't. These people are usually people that live a life of a lot of experimentation, because they're trying to understand how to bring these enlightened energies to them in this dense physical reality.
Yeah. Let me try this, let me try that. Maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, they're very experimentative because they're looking for the way. They're looking for a way to, just like Emily said, to find enlightenment in this dense, crazy physical reality that we experience.
Yeah, and this is a soul group that is very near and dear to both me and Maddie, because it is my primary soul group of origination and his secondary. These are the qualities that we learned from our mentor that were passed on to us about these different star groups of origination, and the people that we've passed them along to as well, like through our soul journey reports, have really resonated with this information as well.
Oh, especially the experimentation. I've found moments of enlightenment, but I never found a way to just be enlightened every second of every day. I can't imagine how that would happen in this density that we experience. But experimentation has been a theme of my life for sure.
Well, it's interesting too, like enlightenment is the idea of having all of our chakras being perfectly aligned and vibrating and, completely clear of any kind of density or any kind of limited beliefs or any kind of anything at all. So imagine being in that state. Well, we come to Earth, and when our chakra system is developed, when we come here, all of your life lessons, all of your themes, all of your limited beliefs from past lives are literally like programmed into your energetic template before you come here. And so being enlightened in this state is quite difficult.
Yeah, all the karma's programmed in there. I mean, trying to find moments to clear through all of that and be wide open, or to completely clear all of that so you're constantly all chakras wide open in perfect harmony. Like, wow, I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
But
I feel like our souls can imagine, but
yeah.
but my human self cannot imagine.
But I'll keep trying.
For sure. I'll keep trying to experiment with every single thing possible.
Souls that are advancing systems and greatly increasing the potential for sharing knowledge or expanding the possibilities of understanding the universe. Like, that's what the Syrians do. That's what they've been perfecting in their home planets and their star systems of Sirius A and Sirius B. That they are all about knowledge and how it works and how we interconnect in this universe, and then sharing that. That is what drives them on the underneath, for sure. And they bring that here. They're developing new technologies and new ways of using the communication systems that the Palladians have come and helped develop to connect and share this knowledge with everybody.
And it's said that the Syrians shared some high advanced technology that became very dangerous on the Earth plane. Like, I don't know if we've ever found out exactly what that was, but I'm imagining it's more like the weapons and things like that. Just a really high advanced technology.
Oh, I mean, nuclear energy. We could use it for good or use it to destroy each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have bringers of lightheartedness, laughter, and joy coming to the earth.
Hooray!
Listen, thank you so much, especially during the darkest times. And this is something that vegan souls do. The eternal optimists, if you will, the laugh at themselves and the dark side and the stupid shit that's happening here, because laughter is a good vibration, not because it's funny, but bringing lightheartedness to even the darkest of situations is something that vegans do. Something that's near and dear to me as a vegan soul. And I definitely can see in my life where I've pissed some people off because of my laughter and lightheartedness in situations that, didn't feel very light to them. as well, but it served me well in some of my darkest times in my own life
And it
to
serves
still
me
find
well
some joy.
too to be living a life next to you as well. It definitely helps me, put things in perspective sometimes and see things in a more lighthearted manner rather than, being stuck in my head and mulling over things over and over. So I appreciate that about you.
On behalf of Pagan Souls, you are so welcome. So let's talk about soul purpose and life missions with regards to spiritual amnesia and being unique to Earth. And all souls that come here, Earth and starseeds, experience spiritual amnesia. That is the disconnection from source energy and the rest of one's soul's energy that's still in spirit while we incarnate here on Earth. I know in past podcast episodes and multiples of them, we've mentioned that souls will choose to bring about 50% of their soul's energy into a human lifetime. The rest of our soul's energy is still with source in spirit, working on behalf of knowledge that they want to gain and growth that you want to go through, as well as helping all souls in the universe. Whatever your little thing you're into, whatever that hobby is, or that little work stuff you do, however you want to classify it, the rest of our souls are still active in spirit, out in the universe.
Yeah, and just a point to make to that is so if you know someone that's like really, really low energy or just has a really, really hard time on Earth, there is a chance that when they were in the spirit world planning this incarnation, they're like, I'm gonna really throw myself a challenge. I'm gonna take less than 50%. I'm gonna take 30% with me, and then basically it's like a humongous challenge to try to play out your life mission and your soul purpose and learn all of your life lessons and all of that with very little energy in order to do that. So if you do know someone like that, have some empathy and compassion for them, because when you're in the spirit world planning your incarnation, you're like, oh, this sounds so easy, because you're in this like wonderful community with all this support and you have all of the knowledge because you don't have this spiritual amnesia. And then it's like you incarnate on Earth when you're born and you come through that birth canal and it's like, oh crap.
What have I done?
What have I gotten myself into? Although you may not have that thought yet. It may be, you may be a little bit older when you have that thought. But we as souls, we do really like to challenge ourselves. And when we're in the spirit world and we have all these people rooting for us, in our soul groups, and we know we have all the information, then yeah, it seems so easy.
I am the greatest soul of all time.
I can do all of that, and then I'm going to do it with only 15% of my soul energy. I don't know if there's like cutoffs or if your spirit guide at that point would be like, how about we try to do it with a little bit more? Let's not challenge yourself that much. It seems like your guidance team would do that, but if you were
We have free will, but I'm pretty sure the guidance team would be like, 15,
are you sure you want to do
not a good
that?
idea. Not a good idea.
But I'm sure there's some stubbornness in souls too. So just thought I'd make that point.
So spiritual amnesia is a invaluable tool for Earth being a universal school. If all souls remembered their missions and their plans for learning and for growth, then life here wouldn't quite be the challenge that it is. We wouldn't, first off, be able to have duality, have the extreme negativity and positivity if we were connected back to source and our soul's energy and, connected with the rest of the universe. Life here just wouldn't be the way it was. It wouldn't function as this amazing school, as this amazing opportunity to go in so many different directions. And think about it on this term, with Earth being a school, if we all remembered our plan, if we all remembered everything we wanted to do and the highest possibility for our probabilities, for our potentialities while we're here, if we all remembered everything, then we'd all just ace our test if we already had the answers. there would be no test in being here. It wouldn't be the uniqueness that Earth is. It wouldn't be this challenging plane of existence the way it's set up. So spiritual amnesia, as much of a pain in the butt it can be, really does serve a useful purpose for the way that life is set up here. And every soul knows it when they're coming in. The human that we are may be blindsided by it, but our souls know that there's spiritual amnesia. We know that when we're born here, there's going to be that disconnection.
For sure. And the last part that we wanted to talk about in this first part of the podcast is starseeds and their relationship to spirituality. Well, first off, you may be wondering, why would anyone choose to just incarnate on Earth if there was the choice to become a starseed as well? If things on other planets are so great, then don't they have the disadvantage, or don't they have the advantage when they come here on Earth? And that is not necessarily the case, because I don't know if you've ever had this thought in your life, but you can't miss what you don't know. And so if you incarnate on Earth and only Earth, yes, it's very challenging, but you never knew any other way. And so therefore, this idea of living in another way, I mean, yes, you can probably conceptualize it because we're humans and we have the brain that's capable of doing that. But on a soul level, you're not going to be able to know what that's like. Whereas for starseeds, they do know that it can be different. And that could be part of why they come here to help Earth and really have this mission towards wanting more peace, wanting more love, wanting this better for Earth, because they actually know on a soul level that it can be better. And so as far as spirituality, a lot of starseeds, they just have a different relationship to spirituality. I mean, a lot of Earth souls, their relationship to spirituality is more through religion because they enjoy the feeling of being part of a group. Whereas starseeds, they're just used to this feeling and knowing of that everyone and everything in the universe is connected. That's just something that they innately know and they innately feel. And many star systems do resonate on a higher level and a higher plane and a higher frequency of being. And when I say higher, I'm just talking about like higher vibration. The higher vibrations vibrate at a faster rate. So that is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about better or worse. So because these soul groups are used to vibrating at a higher frequency, then a lot of them have reached like a higher level of like enlightenment, or they know what it's like to have like universal love, or they know what it's like to just be more connected like telepathically like with their soul groups of origination. And they may live their lives with this connection that fosters more energy and focuses on the highest good of all. And that's just something that's just kind of innately in them, because that is kind of more of a mindset of a lot of starseeds, soul groups.
Often an underlying part of a starseed or a star traveler's mission on the Earth is to bring this energetic quality of connectedness and for the greater good and the highest good of all. To resonate that, to bring that, to desire that, hope for that, want for that, for humanity as a whole. Without regard to the country you're in or the geographic region, you're going to want those things there, but it's more of wanting humanity to step into this interconnectedness. Not just countries to be unified, but to break the bonds of nationality and to forge the bonds of humanity. And often starseeds will just do this by having their vibration. We mentioned earlier harmonic resonance on what a starseed's like soul group of origination is really good at. Whatever those skill sets are that they'll naturally bring here, they also will just harmonically resonate this kind of spirituality, this kind of connection. Even though they've got spiritual amnesia as a human and stuff, but somewhere in there's this inherent or innate knowledge or this inherent longing for it to happen. And it could be a conscious focus, but it could just be in their unconscious mind, just something they're here vibrating. They don't even realize that they're vibrating interconnectedness for all.
Oh, that's a beautiful note to end on, I feel like.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate you joining us for this journey of part 1, Starseeds and Star Traveler Souls. What are they like? We hope you'll join us next week as we dive into part 2 of Starseed and Star Traveler Souls, and we'll get into a little bit more of what life's like for them here and physical reality and some other things that we're going to touch on. I know we focused a lot on their purpose and missions and those kind of feelings in this show. So have a wonderful week. We are so happy to be back podcasting with you once again.
Woo!
All right, we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Hey, soul friends. Thanks for listening to today's show. If you've been resonating with our podcast, Emily and I would be honored if you would share this episode with a friend. Or even better, share this episode on your socials and tag us at Soul Vibe Insights so we can connect with more amazing, like-minded souls just like yourself. Have a great day.